All right, we're going to talk about the difference of squares. And the difference of squares is really, really an important pattern for the kids to see that is a key to Algebra 2 and pre-calculus, especially when you're talking about conjugal pairs in real numbers, irrational numbers, or complex numbers. So I want to lay that foundation, especially in Algebra 1, and I want to make sure that they can do the difference of squares pattern. Now, traditionally, you would expect to see the 0x there, and whether you use tiles or whether you use the box method or whatever method you're using to do this trinomial, you want to get them to the point where they see that this is x minus 3, x plus 3. But a game that I play with my students, and we have a lot of fun with this, is I'm going to tell them, and this is a time when I tell them there can be no talking whatsoever. And I'm going to tell them, I'm going to do some math for them very quick. And I put a lot of difference of squares on a page. And what I do is I tell them, I'm going to do the math. And as soon as they can explain the shortcut in a complete sentence, I will let them also do the shortcut. Otherwise, they have to do the factoring of the trinomial. They have to do it with all of the steps. So I'm trying to get them to take the shortcut. So what I'll do is I'll tell them no quiet, no talking, no sharing. This is not a think, pair, share. This is an on your own exercise. I'll say, I'm telling you the absolute truth. This comes out to be x plus y, x minus y. And I'll ask them, look at the way it factored and look at the pattern that you have. And I'm going to come to the next one. And I'm going to say b plus 5, b minus 5. And I'm going to tell them, it's right. I know it's right. What's happening here? Think about it. Don't say anything. If you think you know what the shortcut is, write it on your paper. All right? And I'm going to go to this example. And by this time, I have some kids who are dying to share with me. And I've got to be really careful that they write it on their paper, that they don't blurt anything out. And now's the time that I'm going to mess with their heads, and I'm going to say y minus 2, y plus 3. Ooh, y plus 2. That would really mess with their head. Now, by this time, I have some kids that are just dying to show me. And I will walk around, and I will check what they have written. And if they've got something that will get me to this difference of square pattern, I'll say, you no longer have to do the long method. You have now graduated to the shortcut. It's a little game that we play in my class, but it gets them to looking for those patterns, and then they have a better chance when they're taking the SAT and they're taking the ACT, when they're given those patterns, to understand how those patterns go together to do the difference of squares.
But it's important that they understand where the math is coming from, that is a zero value in the middle. It's not just a magic number.
Right.
And a magic shortcut.
I do this way after I've done trinomials. We've done all of this comes after we have done factoring trinomials, when I'm just trying to polish up their factoring skills and get them to that difference of square pattern.